first, we think that the internet will become more and more nationalized. I mean, we all know that in North Korea you can't access the internet, and we all know that in China you can't access Facebook and Twitter without using VPNs and things like that. But this is really becoming a trend. If there's any social unrest in a certain country, there's a tendency that more and more countries and governments the first thing they do is shut the internet down to make certain that groups can't communicate amongst each other anymore. You also see that when there's tension between countries, they try to attack each other's cyber facilities. So this is pretty scary. I mean, we are so used to the internet as a medium where you can communicate from one side of the globe to the other side of the globe and share things and be on social media. And you know, for the foreseeable future, you and I, you from Melbourne, me from Amsterdam, will be able to communicate online as much as we want. But try being in China and try communicating with someone in Iran, for instance. That's pretty hard. And I think it's extremely scary and worrying that this is happening. So we see a trend that the internet will become nationalized. That's our first prediction for the next 18 months. Our second prediction is that the Terminators are coming. And what we mean is that the military use of algorithms, of automation, of robots is increasing all the time. I just mentioned cyber warfare. But you also see that robots and algorithms are becoming more and more important. We've seen drones flying over Afghanistan being operated and piloted from the safe environment of an operator in Florida. But this is really extending not just to, let's say, drones, but also to the battlefield in itself, which has a good side because, I mean, you don't need soldiers on the battlefield anymore, but there are big risks there as well. And our third prediction is that hyperreality is here to stay. We've all heard of fake news. You know that it's pretty easy to impersonate, to really take a real picture of Barack Obama, to take his real voice and to manipulate it in such a way that you can literally let him say anything you want, and it'll be very hard for someone else to realize that this is not the real Barack Obama, but someone misusing his voice and looks. And it happens with voice as well. So, I mean, there are situations where, for instance, in the UK, a CEO received a call on his voicemail with one of his colleagues asking him to transfer 250,000 euros to an address in Hungary. And he knew this colleague very, very well, so he transferred the money. And 3 calls later, he found out that it wasn't his colleague who had called him, but someone misusing his colleague's voice. So the technical capabilities are there. So we have to be, as consumers, we have to be very careful that we have to verify who is the person speaking to you. Even if you look at someone on TV, is this the real person or is it someone else impersonating him? But at the same time, especially a younger generation will become so used to using augmented reality and virtual reality that it'll be hard to see the difference between the real world and the hyper world. So we think hyper reality is here to stay.
Do you think this is a reflection of where technology is in its life cycle? Because